Testing. Testing. Test, test, test. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test. Testing, testing. Test. Sorry, second channel, if you're watching this. I'm trying to get the mic properly working. I think it's the right one. Test, test, test. Alright. Second channel, if you're watching this, I just want to test something quick. In a Gato way, that should be fine. We'll just see how we go. Feels good to be back in my my own setup instead of just downstairs. I'm just fucking whipping out my phone quick. All right, let's go public. Let's go, boys. All right, should be live, and I'll check the sound out for myself. Right, let's have a look. Test, 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 test. Alright, mic's fine. Let's just share this around quick. Got the chat up. Oh shit. Monetization. Quick. Alright. Streaming now. Alright, post it there. Let's get it on the Discord as well. Alright. New videos. Put it on the Patreon one. Okay, great. I'll just wait for people to join. But thank you to anyone who's joined already. Let's turn it down a tiny bit. Yeah, but thank you to anyone who's joined already. Actually, let's turn it up a bit because I'm not allowed to speak as loud. Yeah, basically I was saying before, it feels good to be streaming again in my room instead of in the kitchen using headphones for a mic. But yeah, I want to talk about the Ben and Jerry stuff. I want to talk about this for a while actually. So I'll just get my should I put live stream at the start of the thing? Maybe I should. Yeah, let me change the title quick. Let's write something. I can't watch because of school, but that title though. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the title is good actually. Maybe I should put the stream here. I'm gonna put the stream at the start. Live stream. Take out the end. Yeah, let me change it. Here we go. Right, I've changed it. But yeah, just want to talk about this stuff today. Other things I want to talk about, there's tons of things to speak about at the moment. One big thing I do want to talk about, and I'd really appreciate if some people messaged me afterwards. I'll get into this a bit more because I want to talk about this again, but I'm making a video tomorrow about live streaming, debate streaming mainly. I don't know if it's like a positive or negative thing. And from my perspective, it's quite like a negative thing. But in terms of like, I asked on Twitter like to people, how has live stream debates like either Vosh or Destiny or serfs, how does that influence your politics, and has it influenced your politics? So I got some good replies, not as many as I wanted. So I would want to like other people to maybe give me a message, because basically how that video in my head looks is that I'm going to talk about like how I feel about debates in general. I'm going to use like different examples. So I'm going to use the Michael Wolff or Dr. Wolff, Professor Wolff, whatever his name is, the communist guy versus Destiny, and just say, you know, use that example of like how a debate can be just bad, because like I watch that debate and I think it's good because I'm learning something from Wolff, but lots of people said, oh well, Destiny won. And it's like this coming together of debate bros and academic debate, and I don't think it really goes together at all. And then I might use the Vosh and Mel one just to talk about like power dynamics and like I guess not debating the issues, getting like very personal. I just think it's really not helpful, so I want to use that one as well. And then I also want to talk about like good examples. So people have given me some good examples of debates that have changed their politics and stuff. But if this sounds like sounds like anything people could maybe illuminate me on. So if you're listening right now, if you have had your politics shaped by an online debate, and you don't mind talking about it and potentially maybe linking the video of the debate, give me a message. I've privated my Twitter messages now just for people I follow, because just getting too much spam on that. But give me a message on Discord or Instagram, and then I can, if it's like, you know, I'm going to feature a couple of them. So yeah, so give me a message and you know, just to help me with that video if you want. So if you're like a Vosh fan, if you're a Serfs fan, if you are someone who watches a lot of online debates and you want to just give me a quick message about it, might get my video, yeah, do that on Discord or Instagram. I'm going to talk about this a bit later anyway. Let me just read the chat for a bit. And then we'll talk about the Ben & Jerry's thing a bit later. Grady, thanks for joining. Glad I saved you from your nap, although the nap does sound good. Hey Red Leader, thanks for joining. I missed your return stream, but hey, yeah, it was a messy stream. Basically, it kept cutting out, and then I just had to quickly do it on my phone. Slide Tendencies, thanks so much. It's weird, I'm reading the chat right now. Thanks so much for the $5, super generous of you. Slide Tendency says, I don't do Patreon, but I'm a huge fan. The debate that changed me was George Galloway versus Hitchens on the Iraq War, pure gold. Sly, if you don't mind elaborating, is George Galloway is anti-Iraq War, Hitchens was pro. Like, what was good about that debate? Did you watch it? Is this before the? I'm guessing this is before the internet, or would you watch it online maybe? Yeah, like, I don't know why, I don't want to read that on stream, Grady, but like, yeah, people, I don't understand the simping for Destiny anymore, and how like some people who say they're like more leftist and stuff, the Carl Rittenhouse take and everything, like, I don't understand how people take him seriously these days. That's just me, because apparently he used to be like decent for like debating fascists online or something. Samuel saying, I've always preferred discussions more than debate. I hate when people have to use tricks and tactics, not to mention how annoying it is when just ignore what the other person is saying. Yeah, like, I don't like debates either for that reason, but that's why I was asking people on Twitter what they thought, and like how have these debates impacted them in a good way, because if I'm just going to make a video on online debates, for me it's mainly like the negative stuff, and I want it to be a bit more balanced. The one good thing about the fact that my fucked up sleeping schedule is I get to enjoy this live stream. What's up with your sleeping schedule at the moment? Mine has been so messed up because it's just been so hot in the UK, and my aircon broke during like the June heat wave. So I have a fan, which is pretty good, but I just wake up, like I go to bed really late, obviously, because I work mainly in American time. But I just keep waking up like after about 5 hours, roasting hot, and it just like screws up my whole day. Definitely got one debate of Jontron that's really blew up. Yeah, I'm gonna cover that Jontron thing as like part of my little series, looking back at different things to do with well, just like looking back at old debates and stuff. Like that Cenk Uygur Sam Harris one. Sorry, I'm just some more comments. Hi everyone else for joining. How many watch I got now? It was on Democracy Now! The question was the Iraq War justified? George Galloway was against the war and Hitchens was supporting the war. So it must have been before 2010, obviously, because Hitchens died then. Was it on their YouTube channel? But yeah, like Galloway, there's something seriously wrong with Galloway now. Like, he's just such an opportunist, and like a bit of a dick as well. Yeah, Patrick, that's what I want to cover in the video. Is like the debate is so crazy in terms of what Jontron says, and people just act like because he took a little break, he never said those things. Not that he ever really apologized for it either. Israel funded Hamas early on. Yeah, I think I covered that in one of my videos, because they were trying to like divide the secular Palestinians from the religious ones. Yeah, way a bit longer. I know it's not my normal streaming time. I normally stream a lot later. I mean, I know there's like Ben Shapiro debates of like some liberal people, but I'm more talking about the new phenomenon of like loads of online debates. So it's more like Vouch territory. Michael Brooks versus Destiny. Yeah, if anyone wants to elaborate on some of this, like I said earlier, give me a message on Instagram or Discord if you have a certain debate that affected your politics. Or like, for example, some people messaging me saying either Vosh made them leftist or helped them argue better or something. Ready is saying the debate community, I feel, traps people. It's full of terminally online, and it creates this idea of politics as personalities clashing. Yeah, I don't like the debate stuff anyway, because like I saw that Mike from PA had like a meltdown when he was debating Vosh or something, and then everyone was like memeing it. But then I had just like a random conversation with him, and it was fine. Like, it wasn't like hostile at all or anything, and it was just like perfectly normal. Why is it always YouTubers with large child demographics that end up being the worst? I don't know who you're talking about in this instance. Dylan Burns makes you a better debater. Yeah, well, that's a positive, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like the main draw of it is the spectacle of it. One I do want to watch is apparently the Quartering is going to have a chat with Vadim, maybe moderated by Dylan Burns, which will be fun, about his actual politics. Now, I always speculated, like, in my Quartering video, not that I haven't touched content on him in like months now, but in my Quartering video, basically said like he was like one of these like skeptics. He was like a big fan of like Sean Head on Sargon, and I literally, it's kind of like I said in my skeptic video from 2 weeks ago nearly, that I think the anti-SJW YouTube video community is like a successor to the skeptics online. I sent you a link on the Instagram. All right, thanks a lot for that. So you did watch it online. Alright, message you back now. 2005. How old was I? I was 10. 10 years old. I did used to like getting up early in the morning and watching the news when Iraq and Afghanistan was on, even as a kid. So, Mike saying, what's your opinion of Destiny? Like, I don't watch Destiny ever. All I see are his awful Twitter takes. And obviously, like, defending Carl Rittenhouse and people saying, making fun of, like, gender identities and everything. So, I don't have a very positive view of him from that. You can tell Vosh's demographics when you see brigades by his supporters. Yeah, I don't really know, but I would assume that they're a bit younger. To be fair, I'm gonna have a look quick at my analytics. I'm pretty sure people who watch Vosh are the #1 people who watch my content. Let me check. Am I gonna watch Team USA play in Australia? No. Is that basketball? Why would I watch the USA? They lost to Nigeria. They're not even the best team anymore. Alright, let's have a look at this. Analytics. Where's the audience analytics? Alright, so the last month. Alright, so last 28 days. Here are the top channels my audiences watch. So Hassan is the first. Vosh is second. Majority Report is third. Secular Talk is fourth. Coconut Island, I have never heard of this channel. I'm just going to look at quick. Coconut Island is a Vosh Clips channel, it looks like. Then Fort Slime, Humanist Report, Vosh's second channel, Surf Times, Dylan Burns TV, Xander Hall, Rational National, Second Thought, some more news. And really surprisingly, Destiny is also on there, which someone said to me the other day, which made me think, because I said, why do some people think I'm a Zionist or some shit? Like, someone messaged me telling me to stop using Zionism as a dirty word, and I said to them, and telling me to stop saying Israel shouldn't exist, which I don't think I have ever said on a video. And basically, like, someone else was talking to me, saying some shit about Zionism to me, and I was like, how have I ever given the impression that I'm a Zionist? I really don't get it. So then I just made like a tweet saying, you know, I've never been a Zionist. I don't support like a founding ideology for settler colonialism, no matter what. And like from an Irish background, like people in my family died fighting like colonial ideology, like settler colonial ideology. Next you're going to be asking me to, endorse the Orange Day, which happened on Monday in Northern Ireland, or endorse like the founding ideology of Northern Ireland or some shit like that. Yeah, it's 3 AM in Finland, so 2 hours ahead of me. Yeah, it's just like, it's not so bad at this time of night, but it's just like 7 AM, 8 AM, 9 AM, just gets so hot. Alright, so read some more comments. You know that Hunter Avalon guy? Wasn't he like a massive right winger like less than 2 years ago? Am I like literally besties with Sargon of Akkad or something? Am I remembering that wrong? Why is he so like widely accepted by everyone? What I always think with like these people who are like very conservative and suddenly become leftist is like, for most of us it takes so long to deprogram ourselves just from growing up in the West, and we're like liberal people, or like centre right or centre left, and it takes so long to deprogram ourselves, and then I'm just meant to accept like some guy who was like a massive reactionary, and he's older than me, until like less than 2 years ago is suddenly like a big leftist or something. And this doesn't just this just doesn't, you know, in general, just talk about Hunter Avalon or something. It's just like it's a lot of people. It seems a lot of people who are like once on the alt-right, and then suddenly they're all leftists, and we're just meant to accept them and stuff. I mean, I don't. Obviously, I believe people can be reformed, and that's fine. But then it's like these people become like these arbiters of like leftism and shit like that. Thanks so much, Mike, for the donation. Would I consider Zionism ethno-nationalism? Certainly, some forms of Zionism are. There is like a liberal form of... Okay, it sounds kind of weird, but there is like a liberal form of Zionism that believes like Israel is like a multicultural state, but like a Jewish homeland, which kind of like sounds like paradoxical. But like Natalie Portman and some other Israelis like believe in this stuff. Like Israel can be like a democracy, that you can have a two-state solution, and then Israel can be like a democracy for everyone in it, not just for Jewish people. Whereas, like, obviously some forms of Zionism, like Netanyahu Zionism, in my opinion, definitely is ethno-nationalism. And, of course, the new Prime Minister's Zionism and everything. But, like, of course, it's very, like, hard to say, like, it's not in some ways. But, like, there are people who consider themselves Zionists who aren't necessarily ethno-nationalists, as weird as that kind of sounds. So someone asked about my glasses. Are those a fashion thing, or do you have dyslexia? I haven't heard about this. Do dyslexic people wear like orange tinted glasses? No. These are like computer glasses. I wear them because like nearly 2 years ago I started having bad neurological problems. It makes looking at a screen kind of hard sometimes. So I wear these when I edit or I'm on stream. I've been getting a lot better at not wearing them most of the time, though. Valsh is less toxic and annoying than Destiny. I guess I tend to agree because of Destiny being so bad. My favourite channels are Second Thought and Re-Education. Re-Education's cool. Second Thought I haven't really watched. I'm really bad at watching other leftist YouTubers, to be honest. Do you think the world is catching up to America in sports? America's only really good at, like, the sports it only plays in America, like, or like it only plays in like the Americas, like baseball or you know, American football. Of course they're great at like athletics and stuff. Conservative turn into a mild Sopdom. Why is he like why was he panning around with Sargon of Akkad? I've seen a picture of them two sitting next to each other at like some event. It can help with reading, apparently. Oh, okay, I haven't heard of that before. What? How old is this Hunter guy? I'm guessing he's like late 20s, maybe. I'm guessing he's not, or is he super young or something? Hunter claims he's in denial for a really long time because his income was so dependent on staying on the right. So he's not a right winger. He just he just decided that money was more important than, you know, being a good person. So he would shit all over like the most vulnerable for money. It doesn't really sound like a left winger. Yeah, I'm not saying, Devon, I'm not saying he didn't abandon his old ways. I'm just a bit suspicious sometimes because it's like when people like Sean Head come out of like a really bad take, then I just ask myself, like, do these people really like reform themselves, or is it more like I mean like it's not surprising when someone has an awful take when they were like a reactionary and stuff, and they just like quickly switch to being more left wing like suddenly. The help with Ice Train, yeah. Sigma drip. Exactly. I usually call people on the left I don't like neocon, Zionists, or centrists. I mean, you could to piss them off. I wouldn't really do that myself, just to not, you know, unless they actually were all those things. Sarah's W, and he said Sarah Z has a fantastic video about debates. Here, let me grab that up so I can watch that tonight. Do they talk about online debates or just Ben Shapiro, Andrew Neil? The Quartering. Alright, I'm gonna look at this later. She was about as reformed as Glenn Beck. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it's not surprising sometimes when they come out with bad takes. Yeah, but Ben, as much as I'm like anti-Zionist and stuff, I wouldn't really say that Israel's support for the US embargo is like about Zionism. It's more just about like its strategic alliance with the US. I've seen a conspiracy theory that Hunter's wife made him turn away from the right. Spouses can have quite an effect on a person's worldview. Let's get the Quartering's wife to change his mind. Make him go back to the claw machine days. Oh damn, double A, that sucks. Also, it seemed like a very weird backpedal. But yeah, just like I was saying earlier, if anyone has had their politics influenced by online debate bros, online streaming shit like that, mainly debates, please give me a message on Discord or Instagram, and then maybe I'll feature it tomorrow. Okay, he's more sincere than Shu because he deleted his videos. Okay. Hello, greetings from Spain. The anti-SJWs have invaded the Hispanic community in recent years. Thank you for your work. No problem, Killer Croc. Thanks for saying so. Just the general community, or is there anything specific? All right, let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. So we've been chatting for a while now. Let me just put the chat to one side. Right, so we should probably frame this conversation first. Oh, fuck's sake. So to start with, I want to go on Ben and Jerry's website. So Ben and Jerry's is pretty cool. I mean, at least in terms of like capitalist companies, that it at least kind of cares about stuff, or like the owners pretend to care. Who knows? Am I that cynical? I think no capitalists care about anything, probably. So we'll leave this one for last. But they have issues we care about. So you go on the website, climate justice, and so which time? Okay, so is this our Prime Minister? So you click on climate justice, and then it says climate change is about justice. At Ben & Jerry's, we understand that climate change is not only the biggest threat to our planet's ecosystems and species, it's an existential threat to all life on Earth, from drought and wildfires to accelerating rates. Can you guys see this? Wait. You can. To accelerating rates of sea level rise and more powerful hurricanes. The real victims of a warming planet are not just polar bears and ice caps, but people. However, the effects of climate change are not felt equally. It's a cruel irony that frontline and indigenous communities that had no role in creating this problem are those that are already being impacted first and worse by climate change. We must place issues of fairness and justice at the centre to fight and combat climate change. What does it mean for Ben & Jerry's? As a for-profit ice cream company, we're part of the problem, but we've committed ourselves to be a catalyst for solutions both within our business and at the economy-wide policy level. We've committed to reduce full life cycle emissions of our company, which includes our own emissions and our supply chain. Read more here. So let's have a little look. At Ben & Jerry's, we understand that climate, blah, 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 we read that. So it even talks about doing more for its own emissions. So it says the single largest source of our emissions come from the production of milk and cream. using the base mix of our dairy products. On-farm emissions represent about half of our carbon footprint across the entire life cycle of our products. Our approach is to partner with the farmers that produce our milk and cream to reduce the environmental impact of this part of our business. We've been invested in technologies, doing things, we're talking about. So at Ben & Jerry's, we're using 2015 as our baseline year, and our approved science-based targets are 100% renewable energy by 2025, 40% reduction in greenhouse gas intensity by 2025, 80% in reduction in greenhouse gas intensity by 2050. So there's no planet. But so that's, for a capitalist company, that is definitely something that is commendable, to say the least. Not that, I'm a bit cynical, but these guys kind of seem like they care. Didn't they also endorse Bernie Sanders? So it was also like a petition for the UK government. So let's go on the ones that are more linked to Palestine. So let's go for refugees. So they say here, join us to help and protect and advance the rights of all those looking for a safe place to call home. 68.5 million people from all across the globe have been forcibly displaced from their homes. Again, related to Palestine, more than any point in history. People are fleeing the effects of climate change, poverty, war, violence, but they all want what we want, a safe place to call home, happiness and peace for their families. And there are things we can all do. People seeking asylum and refugee status are our neighbours, friends and family. And when someone in our community needs us, we all pitch in, we all come together. We don't have all the answers, but we think we can, we know how to begin. Will you stand with us? So they've got like a, oh, you can't, okay, click here. Okay, I've clicked here. So it talks about what it's going to do together. So it talks about like political pressure. So pushing for greater international cooperation, expanding safe and legal routes for people in search of safety, champion ways that newcomers can participate in social and economic life. So yeah, it's like pretty like woke and stuff. But is that going to make my underlying point worse? So there we go. If you look at their campaigns as well, our partners, Refugee International, International Rescue Community and Turn. And they often have like flavors to go with this stuff as well. Let's go to the last one I want to talk about. Peace building. So they got like a little thing we can click. Okay, they don't have one for this one, but they say for peace building, peace, love and ice cream is more than just a clever saying. It's a belief that guides us. Doesn't everyone want to live in a peaceful society? Of course, and that's why Ben & Jerry's is committed to being a part of a growing peace-building movement. It's a coalition or collection of organisations and individuals throughout the world who recognise that peace is something that we must actively create by investing in healthy communities, social justice and economic justice for all, and respectful dialogue among people everywhere. So, support for diplomatic efforts to resolve political conflict and the opposition to the use of military force by any nation, except in the name of legitimate national defence. Actively support increased government spending on human and social needs like education and healthcare instead of wasteful military spending. Elevate the voices of those who speak for peace and those who present alternatives to violence and militarism in public discourse. So, alright, so therefore peace, therefore refugees. So let's get to the Israel stuff. So Ben & Jerry's has stopped using social media after violence erupted in Israel. Why? So this is the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. So pro-Palestinian activists were swarming social media comment section of Ben & Jerry's to demand the company to boycott Israel. In response, Ben & Jerry's appears to have indeed entered a boycott of social media itself. The international ice cream brand with hundreds of millions of dollars in annual sales typically posts to Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, but Ben & Jerry's fell silent on May 18th amid the deadly exchange of fire, nice way of framing this, between, well, I guess it is a deadly exchange of fire, but we all know who disproportionately does it, Israel and Hamas in Gaza, that played out on social media. The company did not respond to a request from this outlet. Those who wage a social media campaign against Ben & Jerry's because of its affiliated factory in Israel and the availability of its products in Israeli settlements are taking credit for the silence. So a user called Princess Malokias, an anti-Zionist account with nearly 15,000 followers, tweeted, 20 days without online advertising means Ben & Jerry's knows they can't go back to business as usual without addressing their investment in Israeli colonialisation and land theft. Now's the time to back down. The silence is atypical for a company famously founded by two Jewish hippies in Vermont. Ben & Jerry's, which launched in 1978, is known for its marketing strategy of appealing to social justice values. Last year, following the murder of George Floyd, the company added a special section of its website devoted to combating white supremacy. I didn't actually see that on the website, but I guess it's there. But Ben & Jerry's has conspicuously refrained from weighing in on Israeli-Palestinian affairs, so while it has readily marked the anniversary of the Supreme Court's landmark Brown versus Board education ruling barring school segregation in the 1950s and condemning the Jan 6th assault on the Capitol, the company did not mention Israel or Palestine even as the flare-up in May grabbed headlines around the world. But on social media, users can respond even when nothing's been said, and each time a new Ben & Jerry's post appeared, a digital crowd formed to condemn the company. So talking about them getting ratioed, and someone says, if Ben & Jerry's wants to profit off anti-racist messaging, they need to be consistent. Decolonize Burlington, said in the post. The BLM movement has publicly supported the Palestinian cause. It's time for Ben & Jerry's to divest from their holdings in Israel. The last time Ben & Jerry's was caught up in Israeli-Palestinian politics and social media was in 2018 when the pro-Israel camp was attacking the branding for supporting left-wing activists such as Linda Sarsour, who's been accused of having animus towards Jewish people. Alright, so let's read some more. Ben & Jerry's freezes when it comes to Palestine. This is the Middle East Eye, which is a pro-Palestinian outlet. So, on Tuesday, American ice cream brand Ben & Jerry's issued a stern statement condemning the murder of George Floyd. Just talking about that sort of stuff. Talking about people lapping it up, blah, blah, blah. And then talking about like how it's been like an activist company. And I guess what the double-edged sword is, if you're going to be an activist company, supposedly activist company, not saying that these guys are proper activists, and you talk about like white supremacy and you talk about like Black Lives Matter and then you don't talk about Israel Palestine, I guess this is why you become so open to criticism. So as remarkable as Ben & Jerry's statements, here, sorry, one sec, you guys can't see this properly, there you go. As remarkable as Ben & Jerry's statements may have been, it also comes as a volley of brands stumble over each other to capitalise on public outrage. Moreover, as stinging as the Vermont-based ice cream company's statement might be, Ben & Jerry's has been known to freeze when it comes to be dealing with major political issues elsewhere. Case in point, Israel. Ben & Jerry's has conducted business in Israel with a licensed partner since 1987, with a manufacturing facility and two scoop shops they describe as located outside the occupied territories just south of Tel Aviv. Since 2011, the Vermonters for Justice in Palestine, a group advocating for Ben & Jerry's to halt their operations and settlements, have been engaging with the company. Thousands of individuals, almost 250 organizations in 20 countries, have urged Ben & Jerry's to stop sales in illegal Israeli settlements and publicly oppose Israel's occupation. In 2015, BDS called for a boycott of the brand amid its refusals to alter its business practices. BDS said in a statement in 2015, it's now clear that appealing to Ben & Jerry's socially responsible conscience alone will not achieve our objectives. The company has still tried to market itself as committed to its license in Israel, while continuing to be a voice of positive change and a sensible approach to multicultural understanding and thriving communities. Ben & Jerry's Director of Social Impact, Rob Michalak, said, as a mission-led organisation, we make values-based business decisions throughout our global businesses. Still, the company is routinely left out the fact that its ice cream is sold by Shufersal supermarkets in Israeli settlements, and it was listed earlier this year by the UN as one of the 112 companies that profits from Israel's illegal activity and human rights violations in settlements. And someone said to the Middle Eastern Eye that basically the management and board of directors will listen to us, but they won't respond with any actions. And yeah, so this goes on to what we have all read. So basically, what's kind of like ironic is that Ben & Jerry's have kind of put itself into a corner in that, like, yes, it's good to, you know, have all these sustainability goals for your company and talk about Indigenous people being the people who'll be hit hardest by climate change first. And that's all well and good. Of course, like, I support that. Wouldn't it be nice if all companies did that? But then the problem goes that if you're a woke company, if you're this company, you're not only gonna like do the generic thing about the rainbow flags and Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah, like a generic slogan. You're actively gonna call out white supremacy in America, then you're opening yourselves up to way more criticism. If you're going to talk about this white supremacy in America and you're allowing supermarkets that operate in Israeli settlements to sell your product, then we all know that you deserve criticism. Because if you're silent on this stuff, because they haven't said anything about this stuff, it's not even like both sides. It's not like we want to enter a peaceful dialogue. We encourage both sides to stand down. They said they're so for refugees. How many refugees has the conflict between Israel and the surrounding Arab countries? How many refugees has that caused? How many Palestinian refugees are constantly, how many do Israel make every single year, every single month, evicting them from their homes with the Israeli settlers? So if you're for refugees and you're against war and you do not say anything when the world is watching this, military in Israel bomb an open-air prison which it forces Palestinian people to live in, and you don't say anything, then yes, you do deserve criticism. And you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's one thing, I would say, trying to make your business more sustainable. That's one thing. I don't think, as much as I don't want these, as much as I support like BDS and things like that, you can, I guess, ignore politics and talk about climate change, even though it's political. You can talk about making yourself more renewable, sustainable, all that stuff, and you can ignore politics. But when you enter, the George Floyd discussion in a more scathing way than other brands, you're not just paying lip service, you're talking about white supremacy. You're not just talking about police brutality or general racism. You're talking about a system of white supremacy, which, by the way, also extends to Israeli settlements and Israel, because white supremacy has its role to play in Israel-Palestine as well, and even just general Israeli politics. White supremacy is a problem in Israel with the way that white Jews often treat non-white Jews. So Ethiopian Jews is the most famous example in Israel, who, this group of people who aren't treated equally in Israel and are discriminated against for being black. So, this might be actually an interesting video to make as well, because we get annoyed a lot about companies paying lip service, and then here is a company that actually doesn't just pay lip service, it actually does stuff, which is, like I said, commendable. But then, like I also said, you can't then ignore massive global issues. It's like ignoring South African apartheid in the 80s or some shit, like, while condemning, the AIDS crisis. It's like you cannot just pick and choose. If you're for, rehousing refugees and you're against war, then here is an issue that combines all that stuff. So, you're a hypocritical company if you will not touch this stuff. And do it's kind of interesting, because it's like the people I feel like they'd alienate with being anti-Israeli settlements, for example. Let's just take the settlements, not even just selling Ben & Jerry's in Israel. Let's say stopping selling this ice cream in the settlements. I'm thinking about, if you did that, who would you be alienating from your business that you haven't already alienated with the Black Lives Matter thing? I'm trying to think, like, these Christian Zionists, if they're really aware about your messaging, they'd hate you anyway because of the George Floyd stuff. So they wouldn't care. The people in the US who are massive supporters of, like, the settlements and everything, they wouldn't like you anyway. So I'm trying to think, like, is business in Israel so lucrative that they can't do it? So maybe it is. But then it just shows you that, like, you can never trust capitalist companies, because at the end of the day, as woke as they can be, and here is like one of the most woke corporations, it's still a for-profit company. And even if the people at the top levels of the company are, very passionate about climate change and refugees and stuff, at the end of the day, there is an extent to how much they care, and how much they care until it affects their bottom line. And it seems like Israel is the frontier they will not cross. They won't even stop selling it in the Israeli settlements, let alone selling it in Israel. And this is a company that says it cares about like peace and refugees. So thank you for listening to me on that. I'm going to go back to the comments now. So let's just whip the comments up on screen. Alright, I'm going up to the top. Oh, just kind of seeing this. Revolutionary Comrade, thanks so much for the $10. Really appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been around as much lately. I still love your content and support putting the truth out there. Keep doing the people's work. Thanks so much, Revolutionary Comrade. I've actually been away myself a lot, so don't feel bad because you probably haven't missed each other because I've just been putting out the videos. I streamed on Tuesday. That's the first one in a while. Hopefully get back to everything, though, at the moment. So... people finding in the chat? Let me just let's keep going out. I spoke for a long time. Alright, so I'm trying to find the place where I left off. So no good corporations. I tend to agree, obviously. I can't stand Israel's war on Palestine. Yep. I can't stand people who pretend to care about the Uyghurs while shitting for Israel. That's just like American foreign policy, isn't it? Don't recognize the Armenian genocide until you like have a conflict with Turkey about the Kurds. Okay, they're from Vermont and they've supported Bernie since he ran for mayor. They're personal friends of Bernie. Okay. Red Leader saying there are things I heard from the grapevine, but Ben and Jerry were Bernie's weed guys back in the day. That would be really funny. Ben and Jerry's are socially conscious, except when it comes to apartheid in Israel. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Still haven't posted since May the 18th. That's interesting. So Grady's saying, why would Unilever, the company that owns Ben & Jerry's, weigh in on Israel? Why Ben & Jerry's the brand owned by a $1 trillion company that does all manner of horrible things? Yeah, but the point is, I read you their website and I spoke about all the issues they talk about and then they ignore Israel. So it just seems very hypocritical. If you're going to be talking about refugees and you're going to be talking about war and peace and you don't talk about like this really televised bombing of this civilian population... sorry, there are any more comments. Palm Action Mascot saying, Daniel Torres made a great video on Ben & Jerry's history of union busting. Oh, damn. So it's even worse when I thought. I hate to break it to you, but the Israel-Palestine conflict isn't a sexy political topic. Okay. What is a sexy political topic? Alright. Read some more. Christian saying only nerds know about Israel-Palestine. It's not an interesting political topic, and it's obvious why they'd be silent. Did you not see like that absolutely huge protest? Okay, there was huge protests in multiple Western cities. Footballers, some of the most famous footballers in the whole world, in the whole planet, were whipping out Palestinian flags when they won the FA Cup, the biggest cup competition in England. Paul Pogba, who has won the World Cup with France and is one of the most famous footballers on the planet, he was going around with a Palestinian flag on Man United's last home game of the year. To say like only nerds know about this is also like a real like Western like perspective, in that Palestine and Palestinian issues is literally one of the most important political issues to like 1 point something billion people. It's a massive, massive thing to like the entire Muslim community in the world. Even Muslims who aren't like the same specific religion as the Palestinians. It's always been a massive thing for the Islamic world in general. And that's no surprise that loads of Muslim footballers, the whole Turkish league, were wearing solidarity shirts with Palestine when this was going on. To say that only nerds know about Israel-Palestine is like totally ridiculous. And also, it's also a key thing that's important to the US as well, and the US foreign policy. And as a political issue, it's one of the top political issues to a lot of the Christian right in America as well. So it's an issue that maybe it's not sexy. I don't know how George Floyd being murdered by a policeman is sexy. It's just an issue that is, goes beyond so many borders and like religions and everything, and even from multiple sides, it's an important issue. So to say that Ben and Jerry's, who have a whole thing about refugees and war, don't know about Israel-Palestine, or it's just for nerds, is totally ridiculous. Christian, you're being such a dumbass, man. You're thinking people only from the Middle East. The country that is its biggest ally is America. Israel's biggest ally is America. Britain and the UN, not the UN, Britain and France and everything were key allies of Israel to start with, and the US is like its biggest ally. It's a massive thing. If you don't know about it, that's on you for being ignorant. It's literally one of the biggest political issues in the world. So Ian's saying, before Ben and Jerry sold their company, they were selling in illegal settlements. Okay, so even they were doing it as well. Sorry, let's read more comments. Christian, I'm not begging. Okay, if you are an ice cream company that is giving me links to petitions for the UK Prime Minister, am I supposed to believe you don't know about Israel-Palestine? It's just like totally ridiculous logic. If you're going to give me links to, petitions I've never heard about for the Prime Minister in the UK, and you don't know about Israel-Palestine, you're not a political nerd if you think I don't know how old you are. You're like 14 years old. If you're a political nerd, you will know that Israel-Palestine has been a major international political issue for decades and decades. Who has spoke about it? Malcolm X, Fidel Castro, Nelson Mandela, all these people. In the 1990s, it was a massive deal as well because they thought they could get peace there. In the early 2000s, obviously stuff going on with Lebanon. And when you talk about Lebanon, you can't, discount the Palestinian population there as well. And then 2014, Invasion of Gaza. Just, another attack on Gaza that the whole world was watching. You have like Bella and Gigi Hadid, two are like these massively famous people who are Palestinian, all tweeting about this. You have IGN, a gaming news outlet, publishing that they stand in solidarity with Palestine. And you're saying that only political nerds know about Israel-Palestine, and you're one of them, but then you're such a political nerd, you don't understand that so much of the world care about this stuff, and it's not just the Middle East. Have you ever considered doing a video going into your international relations theory that was given to you during your masters? I wanted to make a video on shock therapy after the fall of the Soviet Union by the IMF in Russia for ages and ages. I never got around to it. I actually, annoyingly, my iPad got wiped and it had all my reading material from my masters, so that really fucking sucked. I'm just going to go on my channel quick. I think I used to make a couple more types of videos on this stuff. Yeah, let me have a look. Maybe like 2 years ago, I used to talk about more like international relations. So I did a video on Taiwan. So that's all about like international relations stuff. What else did I do a video on? Yeah, lots of old international relations stuff I used to do. This is before my Bernie Sanders video and stuff. North Korea, I did videos on. Yeah, my channel has been a bit like all over the place, like in terms of content. Really, to be honest, it's only like the last year and a half I'd say I've got really consistent with a niche. Alright, let's read some more comments. Clearly you're not a political nerd. Is he gone now? It was trending everywhere, yeah. Yeah, GameSpot didn't even rescind their support. Neither did loads of, I think, Kotaku as well. Yeah, Spooky Kitty, I did check out Tool. I normally say to people, like, I'll do something, and I don't do it. I did do it. Yeah, I didn't like them. I'm sorry. And I checked out the song you recommended. Yeah, sorry, I didn't like it. But yeah, if you like it, it's fine. We all have a different taste. You probably wouldn't like a lot of the bands I would recommend. So Muggy's saying, I know someone with dual Israeli citizenship living in America. They don't know if they still have to join the IDF. Damn. Yeah, that sucks. Especially if they're against it as well. Alright, sorry, people are talking about my videos being weird. Alright, so we spoke about the main thing I want to talk about today. So to just extend this a bit further, so bringing it back to what I started talking about. So the debate things, and I'll you know, shout out. Let's go on Twitter a bit. Let me just talk about it. Here's my Twitter. So I tweeted earlier. How does it look on your guys' screen? One sec. You guys can't see it. One sec. Alright. There we go. Alright, I tweeted earlier. I'm making a video on Twitch, YouTube debates, and if they're effective. If you've been influenced politically by a specific debate or online debater, reply to this tweet of how and what debate. And I may feature your tweet in my video. So I like this one. Actually, someone quote tweeted it. One sec. So this is the type of stuff I'm looking for, right? So this Tristan guy says, there are three for me. The main one would be with a second debate between Vosh and Sargon. While I was never a Sargon fan, I know a lot of the skeptic YouTubers. I was watching something cordial with him. I consider myself kind of like a sock dem at that point, but I didn't think I'd agree with a lot of Vosh's points because I was still under the impression that socialism was bad, but the debate made me want to look into the issues myself, and I found myself moving further left, and through this desire to look into the issues myself, I felt I had a better understanding of what was going on in the world, and it gave me the confidence to push against the conservative beliefs that everyone in my family and a lot of my friends held. The other two debates would be Destiny's debate with Jontron. I'd never watched Jontron, but I heard a lot of people defending him as not being a white supremacist, but the debate made me realise that conservatives will just defend anyone who's on the right, even extremists, and the Vosh Destiny versus Allsup Striker debate. I did watch Allsup when I was an anti-SJW, and while I never agreed with him on everything, I did find him to just be a moderate conservative. That was until I saw him claim Charlottesville wasn't a far-right gathering. Seeing Vosh and Destiny just destroy him, and seeing the shit he was espousing with a different view on life and politics, it made me more steadfast in my shift to progressivism, and it made me wish I could have woken up sooner than I did. This might be a lot, but I hope this works. I'm glad you found your channel as well as Vosh ContraPoints. Keep up the good work you do. Hope to see the video. So that's like a perfect response of like what I'm looking for. So if any of you have like stuff like this, like I was saying, please either go on a tweet and respond to it, or message me on Discord or Instagram, because I want to get a couple more. Someone messaged me another one just like this. Let me see if I can find it. There's a couple good ones. That was the best one because it's like just what I was looking for. This one was pretty good as well. I can't point to any specific debate, but I was a libertarian when I first came across Vosh. I was already questioning my libertarian beliefs, however, and despite the stereotype of ex-libertarians becoming Vosh fanboys, I actually started reading theory and watching others. So, like, I'm a weird middle where I don't really know how to feel about the whole debate thing. Would I have gotten into theory and other creators without Vosh? Probably eventually. Does it have any effect on people who aren't already questioning their beliefs? I don't know. So that's another good answer I was given. So, yeah, if you have anything like that, I would like appreciate you sending it over to me, just because it's, you know, something I would appreciate for planning my video for tomorrow. Spooky Kitty saying, I feel like online debate bros are more about competition than education. I think that's a massive element of it for sure. What happened to the last stream? Why did I delete it? I never leave my streams up on my main channel. I normally upload them on my second channel. So hopefully I'll upload this one on my second channel, just because we've done a bit of a deep dive on something, which is cool. But yeah, I never leave my live streams up on my main channel, just because it's just bad. It's just bad for your channel, to be honest. You don't leave up like massive streams, because it's all about like what time and stuff. All right, is there anything else I want to talk about? Just before, I normally stream longer, but just because the chat hasn't been as active, I haven't got any like tangents to really go on today, apart from what I wanted to talk about. Let me think. Yeah, there's the fun in the UK. The Fox News equivalent that was set up has like massively flopped. That's one thing I want to maybe make a video on. Yeah, in terms of other things, you know, I'm not really sure. I might end it in a sec. Alright, I think I'll end it there. Won't force myself to stream any longer than I have to. Okay, someone's saying, wait. Let me get this up. So someone's saying, you should watch Vosh's video on debate broadcast versus video essay. So is he just talking about the difference between his channel? I can't see it. I typed it in. Oh, okay. Damn it, 17 minutes. I'm getting so many long recommendations. You got a 30-minute one and a 17-minute one. Okay, watch later. I'll watch this maybe when I'm playing video games or something. The prevailing issue with debate bros is the limited utility they have, as they are great for bringing in numbers, but more often than not, the community has just evolved into another cult personality. Yeah, it does feel like that at times, definitely. Alright, so like I said, if you've been listening the whole time, if you have your own experience, please reply to the tweet, or please reply, message me directly on Discord or Instagram. It's been nice to get back to like streaming again and just my normal schedule. Been a bit like anxiety inducing, just like YouTube's been quite volatile recently. Like my new videos are doing fine, but it feels like a bit more of a grind these days for subs and views and everything. But like I appreciate all you guys comment in the chat. People who've donated, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Tomorrow, yeah, hopefully get this debate video out. If you haven't watched my Captain America one or Ben Shapiro one from Monday, go check those ones out as well. And yeah, first week nearly done after being on holiday for like 10 days, so I'm proud of getting through it. Let's end the video. Let's end the week on a good video tomorrow. Hopefully, a well viewed video. I'm sure it'll be well commented on, which is always good. Keep up the great work, Cav. You do keep it up, Cav. You do great work. Thanks so much, Speaker Kitty. I know you've been a great supporter of mine, so I really appreciate it. Sites I came towards the end, but I love your content. You're an underrated channel for sure, Big E. That's really, really appreciated. I have a second channel called the Kavernacle Extra, which I didn't mention in my last video, so I'm gonna stick the link. If you guys aren't subscribed, I'm gonna stick the link in the chat quick. Basically, I am quite bad at this sometimes. I try and archive every stream on the Kavernacle Extra. So if you're someone like Big E, who has just come in at the last second and maybe you wanted to watch what I said, this is the channel for you. The only annoying thing, there's a link. The only annoying thing is sometimes weirdly YouTube takes just fucking ages to upload the stream on my channel. So that's why sometimes I just forget to upload it, because I'm just like, is it worth it now? So yeah, this will be there, the whole stream where we talked about Ben and Jerry's and Palestine and Israel and stuff. But other than that, yeah, I think that would do for the stream. But yeah, fun to get back into it. Hopefully do some longer streams next week. Tito, just joined the Patreon. Sorry for being so late. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. No, Rory, you don't have to be sorry about being late. You don't even have to be sorry about not being a Patreon ever. I don't see anyone new, so I'm assuming you become a patron lately, so I should have messaged you already. Unless you literally did it this second. Oh, you literally did it this second. Alright, I'll give you a message in a sec, Tito, then, because I got a message of the patron benefits. Subbed, done. Thanks, Biggie, I appreciate that. Oh, you put polls in the live chat. Oh, you can. Do you poll in the live chat? Let's check this out. Who is the best YouTuber? Me, geeks, and gamers. Alright, let's try this. Everyone look at the chat quick. So, everyone vote on the poll. Will I do a collab with Future Sound? I mean, probably not, because they're a massive Metal Gear channel. But even though I really do love Metal Gear, I don't think we're like natural collaborators. He's a bit less political than me, I guess, as well, like overtly political. Oh, this is quite cool, the poll thing. So yeah, there you go. Who's the best YouTuber, me or Geeks and Gamers? Most people voted for Geeks and Gamers. Oh, okay, you leave it up, and then I end it, and that's it. Look at this. So, Christian, you claim to be a political nerd, but don't seem to understand about the world knowing about Israel-Palestine. I don't know if you're just a troll or if you're 14 years old, but I sound like Hitler. The thing is, like, people like you are just so disingenuous, because, like, I was obviously criticising Israel in the video, just like the stream I just made, but I was not saying anything inflammatory, incendiary. I was barely even going beyond describing what they've just been doing the last couple of months. So to say that I'm sounding like Hitler just shows how fragile you are in your own beliefs. You know, saying, I understand that people will know about Israel when it comes to news. Yeah, but you don't understand what it is, and you're saying I sound like Hitler, and you have such an expert opinion on Israel-Palestine. You think most people don't care about it, and you're saying just when it comes to news, How about like billions of people who don't live in the US, who care about it every single day, send money to it every day, are always protesting for it? Yeah, he's probably just a kid. Yeah, he probably is. You can always tell when you get like a 14 or 15-year-old in the chat. You agree with right-wing anti-SJWs, like no BS on Israel, Palestine. Like, what are you even talking about? This is like your brain on like Jimmy Dore or something like that. Okay, can't be bothered to engage with this anymore. So, yeah, thanks so much, everyone, for the stream. Had some fun. Tuesdays and Thursdays I stream, so hope to see you guys then. And yeah, check out the video tomorrow if you care about that sort of live streaming stuff, debate stuff we were talking about.